in school when you were going to college, correct? Were you studying anything in particular?
I was going I was going to a community college, and I was going to work on my associate's degree because I was paying for my own college, and I didn't want to just spend money frivolously on things that I didn't have. I was working to pay for college. I was doing construction, and I was going to college, but it just wasn't a fit. I was too busy with wanting to chase girls and do the wrong things instead of doing the right thing. But yet I'm sitting in the classroom with these people, and every single one of them are like, yeah, I want to be this, and I want to be this, and I want to be this. And like, what do you want to be? And I'm like, I just like being aggressive, and I like working out, and I like trying to do things that no one else can do. And it's funny, I can't remember the book. I was looking at a pamphlet, and it was a pamphlet about Navy SEALs, and these guys, in my mind, were like 7 feet tall, and they could run through walls, and they were war heroes. And I've always loved my country. I've always had a love for my country. And I was like, and it was like just someone like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And right out of the get-go, nothing changed. I have a best friend, and this is a true story. I talk about it in all my YouTube things. His name's Bill Harmon. He's a bigwig over at Black & Decker. Master's degree, straight A, 4.0. He is the complete opposite of me, but we had that balance. We worked each other, and just it got along great. But he looked at me. We're sitting here talking. I said, Bill, I figured it out. I know what I'm going to do. And he's looking at me, and I said, I am going to be a Navy SEAL. And he just kind of looked at me for a second, looked away, looked back at me, and goes, Ray, I just don't think you have what it takes to do that. And right there, I was like, it's like throwing, kerosene on the fire. I was like, really? And I told him, I said, I'll do one better for you. You're going to come out to my bud's graduation. And I tell you what, him and a young lady who's a good friend of mine, Megan, and my mother sat there. I told Admiral Smith, who was the Admiral of Buds, exactly what happened. He put him up in the front row, and when I shook the hands, I looked right at them all and was like, I did it. Which when you're shaking the Admiral's hand, you don't give a thumbs up, and it was cleared. And at that moment, I was like, I finally did it. I finally proved all these naysayers wrong. Now, the good thing about Bill is I actually think now, when I look back, me and Bill talked about it, he actually said he did that because he knew that would light my fire. My mother, on the other hand, had doubt, didn't believe in me, just.
The day that they were both there, were there other people as well that may not have believed that you would have made it, and you were able to prove them wrong in a sense?
Pretty much every single person I know.
What's the next fleeting moments after that goes through your mind? Like, everyone's there, you proved everyone wrong, you've accomplished your goal. How did you feel?
Self-made. I felt at ease. I felt relief. I felt, for a moment, it was like, this process to become a SEAL took me years to do. And I mean, I busted my ass. When everybody else was out chasing the girls, I wasn't. When everybody else was drinking, I wasn't. I was the one that was, I lived like 12 miles away. I would, instead of driving my car in, I would ride my mountain bike in. I mean, my life was fitness. So I put about 3 years of my life into it. And it was just, that's where I came up with my equation, which is time plus effort equals results. If you put in
time plus effort equals result.
And what a lot of people do these days, and I'm sorry, but they put in piss poor time, as in, I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. Is that really realistic? No. You know what? What are you going to do? Are you going to get out there and hustle? Well, maybe tomorrow. They're procrastinating. And what do they get from that? They get a piss poor effort. So me, it was like, you know what? I am going to designate 3 years of my life. I'm not drinking. I'm not chasing. Still had women in my life. I mean, let's not be. I'm not a monk, but sorry.
90-10 versus.
But yeah, 90-10. But I prioritized. That's where I learned how to prioritize. And that's where I came up with my F-bomb system, which is usually family, fitness, and finance.
Yeah.
And at the time, as I told you, as I've evolved, that has changed. They should all be the same. But back then it was fitness. And then it was, I really didn't have a family. Then it was, hey, just enough money to be able to train myself. And then the family was, I'm going to prove my family wrong. And I did. My sister believed in me. She was 8 years younger. You can do it. And, but a lot of success came from doing that. After I got out of the SEAL teams, things have really started to take off. The movies, the TV shows, I'm trying to become a young entrepreneur.
What you are.
Middle-aged entrepreneur, maybe is the correct word.
You were